Oh geez, oh wow, who knew? Who could have figured out that a firearm that has been known in the gun community to have, let's say, issues, you know, like going off when dropped or just going off, period. You know, like going off in a holster, stuff like that. Who would have ever thought that that firearm would eventually unalive people? Wow. I know, it's kind of... It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like common sense has dropped a frame or two in the world, isn't it? Just a little bit. But anyway, you know, before we jump in here, though, before we get going, we have to do some housekeeping. And that housekeeping is asking you to please do me a giant favor and...
Let's up those numbers!
Hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Hit a like. Fuck it. Hit the dislike if you don't like the video. Just engage somehow, because apparently... if people just watch now and do nothing, YouTube doesn't count it as a watch. You have to be fully engaged. You must interact with the channel for the channel to get any traction, which makes absolutely no sense to me because the majority of people just watch the video and move the fuck on. So once again, I do implore you to...
Let's up those numbers!
And hit the buttons. Follow on the Twitch and the Kick. Subscribe. All of those wonderful things. Okay, so let's jump in here. Let's get into... Mr. Brandon Herrera. Sega can't come back from this. Well, let's see if they can or not.
Gun Meme Review. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Gun Meme Review. Before we get too far into anything, new gun wall's coming along.
Yeah, before we get too far into anything, my tax thing is going on there because, you know, if he buys the weapons and uses them on a video, and he buys firearms and uses them on the gun wall, which it is a beautiful gun wall. It is a gorgeous gun wall. It's a tax write-off because you use it for a business expense.
Finally starting to feel right, you know? Also, for those of you who don't watch Cody's streams, I have an MP7. I am
Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I want, and I'm getting hard.
super stoked to do content with this, so that's coming up soon. Just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way before we talked about the topic of today's video. New Sig drama just dropped. Seeing the P320 hurt so many people is reminding me of how much it hurt when you dropped me, baby. You gonna get...
Yeah, because when you drop the P23, the fucking thing goes off. Okay, yeah.
Get a lot of that. Yes, we are now 4 or 5 months away from when it ended today. You remember when Sig tried to gaslight us into thinking that there are no problems at all?
See, what's it here? The rhetoric is high, and we can no longer stay silent while lawsuits run their course. And clickbait farming, yes, and engagement hacking grifters, yes, the people calling out the fact that your firearm was shooting people without people shooting the firearm. Yep, I guess that makes them a grifter, okay. Continue their campaign to hijack the truth for profit. Well, okay, I could say they're using the truth for profit, yeah, but they're not hijacking anything because the truth is the truth, and there's very many well-documented issues for the Sig P320. So, okay, enough is enough. From the courts of law to the courts of public opinion, we will combat the lies and misinformation with the truth. The truth being that your weapon has now unalived somebody, okay? Sig Sauer stands behind the quality, safety, and design of all our products, especially the P320. This is why they had to have a voluntary program where you sent in your P320 to get it, quote-unquote, fixed from an issue that it apparently didn't have. So, yeah, that makes sense.
With the Sig P320, it's all in your head, baby girl, plus you love being gaslit. Well, these last few months have not been very good for Sig. Of course, with the contracts being dropped, damn it, that one wasn't even on purpose. And just in general, more issues that are proving more and more that there are legitimate issues with the drop.
It hadn't happened. I was sitting on my couch, balls out, after work. Yeah, sometimes you gotta air those fucking bad boys out a little bit. Alright, I get it. That's cool. And put on red versus blue. Alright, somebody has some decent taste. Okay. Had a drink, grabbed my holster to unload my P320, and it just went off in my lap. Didn't even touch the trigger. Luckily, all it did was grazed me, so I didn't go to the hospital this happened last week. Are you fucking kidding me? See, all it did just picked up the firearm and it went off. Really?
Drop safety factor of the P320. Sig's response to this? Basically just insult anybody who says there's a problem. They basically just said anybody like me that was out talking about it is just grifting for clicks. And of course it had nothing to do with the fact that some of us were just genuinely concerned that if this kept going on, someone was legitimately going to get killed by this pistol.
Which has now happened.
So about that, a few days ago at time of recording, it was reported that a 21-year-old airman at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming removed his loaded P320 still in the holster, put it down on a table, and the act of slamming it on a table, fired the gun, shot him in the chest, and killed him. What the fuck? If only there's some way we could have seen this coming. Oh wait. Sig was already getting memed on pretty hard, and it seemed like it was starting to die down a little bit.
Yeah, with months and months of the firearm going off by itself and shit like that. Yeah, gee, I wonder.
And then, like clockwork, here we are. When you're the SIG employee responsible for the P320 contract with the Air Force. So yeah, that's the other thing. While the Air Force is investigating this incident, they've also paused the P320 contract. Of course, the military calls it the M17 or M18 or something like that. Same gun, different name. SIG. So when do I get more contracts? The DoD.
That's the neat thing. You don't.
SIG Corporate.
Yeah, you would think that not only should they not get any more contracts, they should have to pay the money back for the M18 or the SIG P320. They should have to go, you guys literally gave us a faulty weapon. Now it is time for us to melt all those motherfuckers and for you to start paying the government back this fucking contract. And you will never get a contract again from the U.S. government. That's how that should work. At least in my mind. Is that how that's going to work? Probably not.
Right. Sir, a P320 has struck an airman. Yeah, if you think the people who handle their contracts are going through it right now, just imagine what their PR team is dealing with. SIG's
Good.
PR and social media team right now. Today, old friend. Now, SIG did release an official statement, and this was an insane backpedal, just a complete tonal shift from where they've been so far. SIG's entire lineup to this point is basically like, there's nothing wrong, you're crazy, fuck off. Right after this incident broke, this is the statement that they made. Our hearts are with the service members and families impacted by the recent reported event at the F.E. Warren Air Force Base. We proactively offered assistance to the U.S. military as they investigate the incident and remain willing to help in furtherance of their ongoing inquiry. We have absolute confidence in the military's ability to conduct a thorough investigation and are working with the Air Force and Army to answer any of their questions. Which points to Sig, this is more like what you should be saying right now. Because what I was kind of expecting at this point was something more like this. Sig Sauer. That shit is straight up not our fault. It is, however, a crazy backpedal. How it started.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, it is a crazy backpedal. I'd have to agree with Brandon on that one. But it's also the only PR move they have. The only thing they can do, now that a life has been taken, you know, which could have been avoided, is say, oh yes, we're cooperating and we feel really bad about the people who were impacted for this. Because that's the literal only move they have to make.
How it's going. This spurred an entire avalanche of memes, which is why we're, of course, covering it in today's video. I do think it is important to point out first, though, while we are making a bunch of jokes about this, it is important to note the difference between making fun of Sig and making fun of the airmen who had an unfortunate accident. To my understanding...
Yes, and the people will go, oh, you're making fun of somebody who died. You're making fun of their families and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm making fun of the entire insane, a very avoidable situation. And as Brandon said, he's making fun of Sig. So let's move the fuck on, okay?
The airman did absolutely nothing wrong. This is equipment failure. This was not his fault. And that makes this a very, very tragic incident. So none of these jokes are going to be directed at him, the victim, because that's what he is. He's a victim in this case. All the jokes will be directed at the party responsible, which in this case is Sig. And trust me, we have plenty. It ends today. New P320 holsters are made out of proprietary ceramic level 4 plate material called Sig Copium. And of course, the new product announcement, introducing the new Sig P320 holster. Before you lies a Sig P320. You must slam it into your appendix holster if you wish to leave alive. Which is actually the second kind of smoking that can kill you. The first, of course, being, well, you know. But if that's a habit that you have that you're looking to quit, maybe try checking out our partners over at Fume.
It is ad time. Okay, let's go with ad time.
Fume is a flavored air device that is designed to help people move away from smoking and vaping. And because there's no vapor to it, you can do it anywhere. There's no nicotine, no harmful chemicals, just flavor that's designed to help mitigate that oral fixation. And the little vent at the bottom has a little magnetic clicker thing on it, which is good for fidgeting, which I just now realized I've been doing the entire ad. I hate when the read calls me out like that. I'm still doing it. They got a bunch of flavors to choose from. I personally prefer the mint. It's pretty basic, hard to go wrong with that. But over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit-changing journey. And if you're ready to take that step, no time like the present. And for a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using code Brandon Herrera, one word, no space, you'll get a free Fume topper, an accessory to help level up your experience. Click the link down below at tryfume.com/Brandon Herrera or scan the QR code on the screen to get yours today. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring the video. Yeah, it's been a digital massacre for the last couple of days.
So, as always, we will always be watching their ads in the videos if we are going to be reacting to them, because I think that is the only fair and honorable thing to do. Moving on.
Even Glock's official page joined in this curb stomping. Just a photo of a Glock. Lightweight, reliable, safe. Which is a very diplomatic way of saying, we should have won that fucking contract. When I'm testing the Shake Awake feature on my new Holosun, but apparently the Sig P320 has it too. Now there's a hole in my wall and my neighbor's dog is screaming in pain. Congratulations, you've temporarily become an ATF agent. Yeah, Sig is getting fucking dragged right now. But don't tell the Sig fanboys, because they're still in this abusive relationship and they just can't be shaken out of it. Just like you really shouldn't be shaking the Sig. When I'm in a ignoring evidence and patterns competition and my opponent is a P320 defender, flat earther, it's fucking bad. Of course, we got memes about Sig fanboys.
Oh God, that is just so wrong. That is wrong in so many levels. You know what? I'm not even. Yeah, it's still funny though.
Reading that one. Apparently just posting about this incident, the fact that it happened, is enough to get you banned on some of the SIG forums. SIG mods deleting any slightly negative post about the P320. I wish that was a joke, but it legitimately, they have screenshots. I do not understand why I was banned for commenting my condolences to the family of the killed airman. I meant it when I said accountability needs to be taken. There is zero free speech on this sub. r/Sig Sauer mod. You're correct. This is a private sub that I own. Fuck you and your free speech. I didn't force you to come here. You alone chose to come here. Now fuck off. You've been temporarily muted from r/Sig Sauer. You will not be able to message the moderators of r/Sig Sauer for 28 days. That is cultish behavior. It's one thing to say like, yeah, we don't appreciate.
Yeah, that's like as bad as fucking Democrats sometimes.
People.
Not all, just some.
Coming onto our forum and just shit talking the thing that we like. It's another thing to say you can't even talk about things that objectively happened that are relevant to the product. And to reply with that is fucking wild. Would love to do a physiognomy check. r/Sig Sauer mods when people mention the mountains of evidence saying the P320 is dangerous. Speaking of mountains of evidence, this just came out today at while I'm recording this video. There's a gentleman by the name of Wyoming Gun Project. I mean, that's probably not as Christian.
Oh, come on. Does it have to be a Wyoming guy that's a fucking retard? Really? Now, I don't know if the Wyoming guy's a retard, because I'm from Wyoming. From, not living from. Beautiful, wonderful state. Great people. Thankfully, most of the people just, forget we exist. Thank God. I'm really hoping this Wyoming whatever guy isn't a complete fucking moron. He's probably gonna be, huh?
Christian name, but that's what he goes by on the internet. He released a video demonstrating the fact that when there's slight tension on the trigger, even just
Oh, okay. He's good. Never mind. He's not a retard. I've seen this video. I just didn't realize who it was. He's awesome.
jostling the slide of the firearm can cause it to spontaneously go off.
Put some input into the slide somewhere. Will it go off again? Will it release? Let's see. That's 3 in a row.
It's all so tiresome. I mean, we've had videos, we've posted it in the gun meme reviews before, just the plenty of videos of the SIG going off when dropped, or just being able to be made to fire when the trigger's not pulled. I feel like I'm in a fucking madhouse. Like, why do you people not listen now? SIG owners, where is your God? I feel like I need to Clockwork Orange P320.
The people, though, who are, like, gung-ho for a company, right? If you're gung-ho for a firearms company, or for any company, period, and you are unwilling to accept the fact that they boo-booed, okay, they fucked up, then you're, just a cultist. It's okay. At some point, maybe you'll get lucky and that firearm will kill you, too. I hope not. I hope not, obviously, because, you know, I don't wish those things upon people. But I think the only thing that's going to knock those people out of that particular mindset would be for their firearm to harm them. But then again, if that happens more and more, you get the people who are against firearms going out and saying, look, they all do this now. All of the guns, they go off and hurt people just randomly now. So I guess there is a bad side of that coin, huh?
20 apologists, make them watch the dozens of videos of what they say can't happening. You don't need a background in gunsmithing or even be somebody who went to sdi.edu using the links in the description and the pinned comment to know that this is not acceptable. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Except the P320. It will kill you. Wes Friedel chiming in. That's fair. Again, if I can give a quick shout out to my boy Wes Friedel. Wes is the Texas state rep that represents Kerrville, the area that was devastated recently by the floods. Anything we were trying to do to coordinate help in that area, Wes was on it, super responsive. He was there with us on the ground. I've said it before on Twitter and other places, but I just wanted to give him a shout out here. Guy was fucking awesome. Good people in politics? Impossible.
Is it possible to learn this power?
How the CEO of SIG looks after another P320 goes off. Would not want to be him today. Probably the CEO who's in second place for being in the most trouble. The first, of course, being the astronomer CEO.
Oh, yeah.
He's not doing too great either, I'm sure. His wife, I'm sure, will certainly enjoy half of his shit. A modest proposal. Put Sig Sauer CEO Ron Cohen in a bank vault with a small hole in the ceiling, through which drop loaded P320s one at a time until he confesses. That does lead to the very interesting question of what Sig can actually do in this situation. Like, what's the right call? For one, they're at least starting to take steps in the right direction when it comes to a little bit of accountability that
I think the right call for this, if possible, is to say, hey, we are doing a full recall of this weapon. We will give you 100% of your money back. We're not going to give you a voucher for Sig Sauer or anything like that. We are going to give you 100% of your money back in your pocket for this firearm. Not for any of these stuff you bought for. Like if you bought a sight or a flashlight or, you know, laser or whatever. You bought something for it, that's on you, right? That's your money, fuck off. But we will give you 100% of your money back for this firearm. You just need to take it into the deal you bought it from and get your money back. I think that's the fairest thing. And a massive, massive apology and a massive overhaul of how they design firearms. Is that what's going to happen? No, probably not.
Yes, maybe there is actually a problem, and not just blaming the people who talk about it. That was pretty fucking lame, not gonna lie. Then there's a lot of options after that, you know, a redesign of the striker mechanism to fix the issue, recalls, voluntary upgrades. There's a lot of options on the table here, but one user proposed the Sig brand tourniquet, free with purchase of any new Sig Sauer P320. Pretty much a necessity, especially if you're going to be appendix carrying it. Speaking of which, a modern Sig take on the Gadsden flag. Please no shoot penis. Guys will say they feel uncomfortable appendix carrying a Glock because there's no safety. And then in the same breath, carry a Sig. My P320 M18, manual safety. My femoral artery. Don't worry, you've got your Sig brand tourniquet, it'll all work out. The response to this is not only a bunch of contracts that are either being canceled or are on the line, but tons of shooting ranges and shooting competitions and training centers have started announcing that they will no longer be allowing P320s for safety concerns.
Well, yeah, why would you allow in your competition a P320 that is known to go off on its own around a bunch of people, therefore having it maybe, 1 out of 3 chance of shooting somebody else in the head? And then what about the person? What about the owner? What is their responsibility in that? How would you feel if you brought that firearm somewhere, like at a competition, and you just sat it down at regular table height, right? And there happened to be a kid, because there are kids at these competitions, usually off far in the background, but not far enough for a fucking bullet.
Because despite what Sig has been saying, these motherfuckers are shooting people. We have videos, we have documents. I mean, shit, last video I did about this, I showed the ICE, the ICE documents, where they were having issues with their contract because they were getting injured. They had a list of accidental discharges, and they included a list of whether or not those involved injury. It's really gotten out of hand.
Ooh,
yeah, I shot a man in the heart. I saw that. Sig killed a guy. But maybe this will finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back, where Sig...
I think my mic is picking up the thunder. Yeah, it did a little bit. That's okay.
Finally realizes there is a problem, and they can start taking corrective measures. Or they'll just do another PR stunt. No. Like hiring a new face of the brand. I have a suggestion. Perhaps Alec Baldwin. Although, fair warning, I hear his acting skills have gotten a little rusty. Anyhow, how do you think Sig's gonna handle?
Oh god, yeah, and I can't believe they actually fucking released that movie too. I wanted to review that movie, the Rust movie from him, and I never got around to it. Thanks, Brandon, for the reminder, dude. Fuck.
Handle this whole deal. Do you think they finally have gotten to a place where they can't ignore it? Or they're gonna pull their patented move of, ooh, look over here, shiny, shiny. What? Nothing happened? You're crazy. You're just like...
I think what's going to happen is they're going to say what they said before, like, oh, our condolences, we feel so bad, wah, 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 wah. We're cooperating with people, with the government for investigations, blah, 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 right? They're going to say all that crap. They're going to do all those things, and then they're going to go radio silent. You know why they're going to go radio silent? Because that's the best thing they can do right now is to shut up, not respond to anything, and hope and pray that in a few months to a year, it will have died down again, and relative people, the majority of people will have forgotten all about the fact that their firearm killed someone and is shooting people and injuring people by just being knocked around a little bit. Not even hit, just slightly tapped some. But that's just how I think they would go about it. I think the best thing to do would be to shut your mouth and pray and hope that things don't get any worse, I guess. But like I said, that's just my humble opinion. Anyway, as Ludwig would say,
Let's up those numbers!
Do me the giant favor of hitting those like and subscribe buttons and commenting. Comment on YouTube, because apparently, as I said before, YouTube does not like the fact that people don't comment. And also on Twitch or Kick, whatever is your preference, do me the favor and hitting the follow button on there. That would really help the channel and all of those fun and wonderful things. I hope you have a great and wonderful day, evening, whichever it is for you. Bye-bye.